live. Yeah, we going live. Hey, we going live. Yeah, we going live. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
Well, speaking of the football team in Washington, my team, we had to get rid of our quarterback. One of our quarterbacks. Steph, what happened to Dwayne Haskins? What happened to him?
He was not prepared for what he had to go, what happened to him. He was ill prepared for what was happening to him.
Yeah.
And to compound that, it's that you know, and I think this is kind of what Booger McFarland talked about. Like, these young dudes, they come in the league not having anything, not ever having anything, and you give them these millions of dollars and say, but you'll be okay. And that's not true. And to compound for him is the fact that not only did you get all of this money, but then you're still in your home. Like, all your people are right there. So it was too much. I mean, and apparently every strip club just has the best food.
I told you that was a thing.
And listen, I watched the I Am Athlete episode, and they talked about the food in the strip club.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, but the young man, I think it was just too much too soon. I think they did him a disservice by starting him so soon. I think he needed, and I hate that. And let me just assume that Alex Smith, when he did show up, attempted to be a mentor to him. But I hate that he wasn't around when it first started. You know what I mean? Because he was recovering, basically.
Yeah. And
so you were just left to your own devices, essentially, to try to figure out how to be a quarterback, a black man with money at 23? 22, 23 years old. Yeah, I don't know, 22, 23 years old. You're a millionaire. You responsible for one of the most prolific, even though not record-wise, but still one of the most prolific football teams in the nation. And then, it was just too much. It was too much, and the maturation isn't there, period. He is not ready. I mean, I feel bad for him. He's not ready. I don't think I've ever seen a team let a quarterback go in like week 17. Like, I've never seen that. I was like, good Lord, they really was like, you got to go.
Yeah.
And I understand. I think one of the things they talked about on I Am Athlete was his irresponsibility to think about somebody else when you got a coach like Ron Rivera, who is dealing with cancer, chemo, which means his system is already compromised. He is making this huge gamble in even being around you all, because I know both my parents went through cancer treatment, that they tell you when you have chemotherapy, you need to stay as far away from a bunch of people as possible. So Ron Rivera was already putting himself in danger. And then you go be irresponsible and do this. And so it's just, that's another reason I feel like it's the maturation, because he's still in those me stages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not even team, me.
Yeah.
So like Fred Taylor said, they get it's 31 more teams though. So
yeah.
That
was an interesting take they had too about, being in the NFL, it being a privilege versus it being, I can't remember the word that, because Brandon Marshall was ticked off about the whole privilege.
He didn't like the whole privilege word.
Yeah.
Like, I am not privileged. I got here because of hard work. And I get what he was saying, but that isn't the way that Fred Taylor meant it.
Which I understood where Fred Taylor was coming from, because like, you got this opportunity, right? But there have to be a million things that go right for you to get this opportunity.
Right.
It's not just that you're good, because there's some good dudes who played and didn't get to make it.
Didn't get it. That's right.
A lot of things have to swing your way, and so given that, like not respecting it, you know what I'm saying, will land you in this position. And I did not even.
Is it about respect, or is it just perspective?
Well, certainly perspective. But if you don't respect the work, or respect the idea of being a professional, right? And I guess that's to your point. Like it takes perspective.
Yeah.
So to say, okay, this is my job, because it's one thing that you said, and I was like, this is squarely a maturity thing, because Chase Young is from the city. He around his people that he grew up with. Like you don't see the same, you don't hear about the same things affecting him. So y'all
come from the same school, don't they? Like
no. So I think Chase Young went to school in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Okay. And
I meant college, but
They went to the same. They both went to Ohio State.
Yeah, like y'all some Come on, bro.
And Haskins went to school in Potomac, Maryland.
Okay.
But and those are like two different ends of the DMV. But you just expect more out of him. And it's funny, I watched like this little mini documentary about him, and nothing about how he carried himself in high school or college would have gave you any indication that this is how things would have turned out for him. They talked about in high school how he was the ultimate leader. He would have his receivers stay after practice for hours just to get their timing down. And as a high school senior, I want to say he threw for like 50-something touchdowns.
Wow.
As a high school senior. And it's like, so you worked that hard.
Yeah.
Then you ended up going to Ohio State, ended up winning the job at Ohio State. Played 1 year, played lights out. Played 1 year. And things took a turn before the draft.
Yeah.
Where much of his focus became about building his brand. And listening to, the people on this documentary, his dad has a lot to do with this. His dad is kind of like
Gonna say it.
Yeah.
Gonna say it.
LeVar Ball.
Yeah.
So they talked about how his dad has, in dealing with the media, he's tried to control narrative. He's been very I can't think of the word. I was gonna say belligerent, but I think that's a little too strong. But he's been confrontational with the media. And so this whole thing over the last 2 years has been about the Haskins brand, as opposed to him going out there and being a good football player, which you can't build your brand if you're not playing good football.
Right. So pretty much. I think that was what they talked about. Brandon Marshall said this. He said, you can, so it's two things, your character and your play on the field. If your character is questionable, but your play on the field is good, they might let it slide. Yeah. When it's the other way around, you got a little longer. But when it's both that's in question, bruh, they gotta let you go. They gotta let you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, to your point, I want to say this quickly and then we can move on. To your point about him being such a great leader in high school, and then like this person that he's become did not appear until he was drafted, right?
Yeah.
As a life coach, this makes me think the goal was get there.
Yeah.
And that was it. You didn't have a plan after that. You just said this was your ceiling. Get there. If I get there, I'm good.
I'm good.
That's that, and you don't know that's when the real hard work starts. Like all the stuff you did in high school and college was play. Now you really got to work. So I hope that falling on his face, essentially, will humble him and If you're listening, Dwayne, love your dad, but let me tell you, don't let him destroy your career. So if you need to remove yourself and go somewhere, clearly you don't have to leave that area because you're going to have to play for somebody else.
Right.
But leave them at home.
Yeah.
And go be a man on your own and do what you need to do on the field. Let it speak for itself, and your brand will be built.
That's it. That's it. All right. Now, what's up with all these quarterbacks and this carousel that's going on with these quarterbacks?
It's so weird. I don't think ever in the NFL have I seen this happen like this before. Not multiple teams. Just y'all switching, flipping. It's just strange to me. Like, what is happening? And I don't even understand what. I missed whatever happened to have them take Jalen Hurts out the game, because if you gave Carson Wentz all the opportunities you gave him, I'm confused.
Oh, so I know what that was about. So we'll start here. We'll start with this Carson Wentz. What's his name? Excuse me.
Jalen Hurts
and Nate Sudfeld.
Yeah.
Debacle.
That's what it is.
So the reason why they didn't want to go away from Wentz is because they're paying Wentz a boatload of money. So you can't just trade him, and you definitely can't cut him because he'll wreck your cap for the next few years.
Okay.
So you got to get something for him. So the city put pressure on the organization to make a switch. It went to Jalen Hurts. He played well.
They still lost.
Understand what you got. They still lost, but you see, like, okay, this kid has something.
That's all I'm saying.
So you get to the last game, and it's the very last game of the season. Everything is already shaked out. We see draft position, right?
Oh, so you're trying to tank?
You can win this game and get the number 9 pick in the draft, or you can lose it and go to number 6, which will not definitely, but possibly ensure you a better draft pick because you got a better draft position. I think that the GM made that call, and I think that I can't think of the head coach's name right now, but I think the head coach is taking the heat for it. It does not seem like a coaching decision. It seems like a front office general manager decision. We need to lose this game so we can get better draft capital.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me, because I was like, why would you take Jalen? So you were more, because he's not gonna not compete,
right?
So I mean, not that Nate Sudfeld wouldn't, but I'm just saying, Jalen Hurts is gonna put the team on his back if he has to and possibly win. So let's just take him out, so we know we don't.
Ain't got to worry about that.
We're gonna tank the game essentially. But you also, so this will go to the next point of the other team. You also mess with these rookies' minds and their heads when you do this kind of stuff. So
not just the rookies, but the veterans.
Well, yeah, but especially because they're rookies, though. You know what I mean? Like, the veterans kind of get an idea. They get a better sense of what's happening. And, like, they probably would have been able to say, oh, well, they're just taking me out because they, you know what I mean? But you doing this to a kid.
You mean that Jalen Hurts is a rookie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like the impact of the rest of the team. Because
oh, no, I'm talking about him.
We saw what I can't even think of his first name, but Travis Kelce's brother. We saw what he said, and we saw what Miles Sanders said.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think.
Jason Kelce.
Travis?
Jason Kelce.
I'm like, what's the boy's name?
I was drawing a blank.
I don't know nobody but Travis. That's my listen. Travis is the it for me. So,
you got to watch his interview on Club Shay Shay.
Oh God! Yeah. Oh, he just does it for me. But anyway.
It was a good interview.
Yeah.
But even during the game and watching it, obviously I watched it because
They were
playing my team.
They were playing your team, yeah.
But like you saw, like the little skirmishes on the sideline, like the Eagles were upset. You know
about
what I'm saying?
this,
about what was happening. And Miles Sanders came out and said that. And Jason Kelsey was very frank about his opinion on tanking and how this isn't a for sure thing for these veterans who we don't know where we're going to be next year. Like we want to win all the games. We're not.
And
trying
who goes to play professional sport to lose?
Right.
If you lose, you lose. But who's going in saying, "Well, I'm gonna make sure I lose today"? That is not the DNA of anybody who plays the sport. It's just not.
So it's not, right? But this is where sport, business, and capitalism all collide because it's more profitable for them to go out and get the 6th round pick. Absolutely. I mean, the number 6 overall pick.
Absolutely.
Than it is for them to get the number 9.
Mm-hmm. No, so, I get it. It just,
losing was a great business decision for the organization, but it was a horrible football decision.
Horrible football decision because now you got you and this man. I mean, if you explained it to him, he good with it, fine. But this other situation, I don't know how you gonna bring him back from this.
Oh, ain't no way.
How do you bring him back from this?
Mm-hmm.
And we talking about the Dolphins.
Yeah.
With Tua and Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now you know Fitzy is my dude, right? Yeah. But this was the worst way to coach a rookie quarterback I have ever seen. Like literally. I'd rather you just put him out there and let him fail. And you put him pulling. That's just
I wish they had have just let him sit this season.
So was this another one of those situations?
Well,
where it was the pressure of the people? You know what I'm saying?
I 100% believe it was the pressure of the owner and the people of the city who were like, we need to see what this Tua kid has. Because
you drafted him, just wait.
Right. Fitzmagic was playing well up until he was removed as a starter. They actually won the game before he was removed as a starter. And so it makes you think about it like, wait, what? What are we doing here?
Right. What are we doing?
And so you put Tua in, he gives you a spark. He's a good football player, but you can see there's some things that he still needs to learn. And he's only going to learn them by doing it and getting better at it. Not every time he makes a huge mistake, you rip him out of there. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
you mess with his psyche at this point. It's like, I can't, because to the pressure that you now put on him is tremendous, because now you set up this idea that he has to be perfect. Well, who's going to be perfect?
Nobody.
So it's just, it really was disturbing. Like, because I felt like it was just wrong to do him like this.
Yeah.
It was wrong. So I don't know what these coaches, listen, I know the GMs and the owners have a say, but I need them to go sit down.
Mm-hmm.
If you took the time to bring this person in to be your coach, let them coach.
Right.
Stop playing politics with the field is not the time for your politics.
Yeah.
Like, really? I'm sorry. It couldn't be me. I'd be fired. I would have been fired. They wouldn't have had to worry about it because I would have let them know how I feel.
As a football player, and I feel like I would have carried that mindset into being a general manager as well. I couldn't have made the decision to pull, because one, my first thought, if your only thought is, okay, I can get a higher draft pick, and you've missed it, because what you didn't think about is you might have just ruined team chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to have a lame duck head coach who the team doesn't believe in, because they probably don't know that the GM
that came from upstairs.
You know what I'm saying? That came from upstairs. Yeah. And I know that the coach is going to have to, you know what I'm saying? He's going to have to hold the line for the organization and say, well, this was a good decision.
Yeah, I'm singing. Oh! That would have been me. But no, that wasn't me. Talk to that upstairs,
talk to the owner.
that wasn't me.
Yeah. I think given the decision, had it been him that actually made the decision and it didn't come from upstairs, he would be fired by now. And I understand that he just won a Super Bowl a few years ago. I don't think that will matter. That was such a blunder.
Yeah.
That it has to come from the GM or the owner.
Yeah, it was bad. I agree. It was bad. So now we just see what happens with these young men.
Yeah.
Next year, going forward, this is rough.
Yeah.
What a way to start, right?
Right.
That's three. Like, you might as well. I mean, I know this was his second year, but still, that's 3 young quarterbacks right there that you just pretty much ruined.
Yeah. No, I mean, some people think that playing them right away is the best way to go, and some people think that they need to, you got evidence of both. Peyton Manning played right away.
If you got a good quarterback, then yes, let them learn from a good quarterback. If you don't, then absolutely just go out there and figure it out. Baby. Yeah.
I mean, and that doesn't always work either. It's not an exact science. Because I'm about to talk about my guy Ryan Tannehill. He got thrown in the fray in Miami, and everybody had already come to their decision on who Ryan Tannehill was as a quarterback. And I think that with his success now in Tennessee, it shows that it's not necessarily just the quarterback all the time. There are a lot of variables here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so it's not an exact science. I think that, especially in the case of the Miami Dolphins, like Tua should have just said,
Just that. Would have been fine.
Right.
Yeah, would have been fine. If you were going to do this to Jalen, you should have just left him on the bench too.
Right. I mean,
just saying.
He was going to tank. Just let Carson Wentz back out there.
Put him back out there. Let him fall on his face by himself. Like,
right.
Yeah.
All right,
anyway,
these next 2 quarterbacks right here, the decision to let them sit or play is going to be made.
Even no thought.
It's going to be made next year, and that's Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Which of them, for you, is your number 1 overall pick this year?
So this is tough because I see benefit in both.
Yeah.
But if it's about the team, the number 1 pick, who's going to pick the number 1 pick, then it's the Jets, right?
No, Jaguars.
No, Jaguars.
Yeah. Same
thing. Either way. I feel like there's less of a need for, so I feel Justin Fields is the greater talent.
Yeah.
But I feel like Trevor Lawrence is the greater overall quarterback.
Prospect. Yeah.
Yeah. Because of his experience, leadership, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like he got it. He is that dude.
Yes.
And so I feel like they need that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more than they need somebody who's talented.
Right.
Like we just got through talking about Tua, Jalen Hurts. These are talented dudes. Jalen has more leadership to me than Tua did. Even though he played at Alabama, I feel like Jalen was more, when he was at Alabama, he was more of a leader.
Right.
And then, you know what I mean? And so I feel like, and especially when he got to Oklahoma, like you saw, like him being a leader on the field. And so I feel like that is what Trevor Lawrence brings to the picture that elevates him to me above Justin Fields.
Okay. I'm going to go with Fields, and I'm going to tell you why. Lawrence is the can't miss pick, right? Because I think he's probably the most NFL ready quarterback since Andrew Luck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Fields has a higher ceiling. I think we know what Trevor Lawrence is and what he's going to be right now.
Right.
I think that Fields still has more learning and growing to do. And I think that I think what we believe that Cam Newton could be, is what he can be.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I see that.
I mean, he's more accurate.
Yeah.
You know, he can actually sit in the pocket and make throws.
Yeah.
He doesn't get antsy and he doesn't have to run, but he can. He's big.
Right.
He's mobile. I think you got to go with Justin Fields.
So here's my thing. I'm going to say but unlike Trevor Lawrence, I hate it for him, but you could probably stick him in any one of these first 3 spots, and he'd be okay. But it's going to take the right situation
for Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, it's going to take. You can't just send him and be like, go do. No, that's not going to work.
So to that point, I think that Trevor Lawrence has to go first, and for the reason why what you said, right? And it's why I wasn't really upset with Fields dropping and the people rating the quarterback from BYU ahead of him, and now they're trying to rate the quarterback from North Dakota State in front of him. And I think we're going a little too far.
Yeah, y'all trip. You seem like, oh, y'all trip. Oh, okay.
I'm not upset with him falling like to somewhere like the Bears.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And that's not a place where he would be able to go and sit behind somebody. But I think that he can go to that team with that defense and will not be asked to shoulder the load in the way that maybe a Joe Burrow was asked with the Bengals, right?
What? Right. And he still got a Nick, assuming they keep him, a Nick Foles.
Yes.
As that, that mentor, because that's the part that I think is what he needs, that mentor piece. Right. To develop all of those things that we see that Trevor Lawrence already kind of has.
Right.
That's the part that I'm concerned about. I don't want him to just be top pick and then you go to the Jaguars. We've already seen they are, if ever there was a quarterback killer team, that's the quarterback killer team. Them and the 1 and 2. Like, I wouldn't want to go to neither one of these teams. Like, real talk. Be like, miss me with that. I'm gonna have to pull the Eli Man. Who did that? Eli something. Yeah, Eli Manning. No, y'all. I ain't going. No.
Yeah. Was it Elway before him? It was Eli first. Yeah. He was like, I'm not going to San Diego. I'm not going to. I'm not going to the Chargers.
Yeah, it was Elway.
Okay.
I think
Elway said he wasn't going to the Baltimore coach at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they made it work.
So yeah. Hey. So we'll see. But I feel like anyway, that could have been a who's really right then.
Right. I thought about that after I saw it.
Yeah.
Now put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.